Okay, I think we're more or less up and running. I'm just setting the monitor I have alongside to view the live stream at the same time that I'm looking at it. So I get to see who's watching and get to interact with you a little bit along the way. Should be good. Okay, so we are on the ground at Portland, northwest coast of the US, with the PMDG 737-800 that was released last night. We're going to take it for a flight down to Sacramento, and you could view this as a shakedown. So this is my first time using the aircraft properly. I sat on the ground late last night to write the checklist up for it, or the functional procedure. So I will be following my own procedure to start the airplane up. So if you've never seen one of these, you can go to Ko-fi.com. There's a link in the notes of the video where you can go and grab a copy of this, and it goes through everything you need to do to start the airplane up. If you want to see what the actual document looks like, here it is. So you can see it's got a view settings on how to do the camera controls, how to set custom views. You shouldn't need them, but it tells you how to do it anyway. Like how to control the walk around, even though you don't actually need it for this airplane. And then it gets into the real meat of it, which is where to look around the cockpit to do each thing. And it covers programming the flight management computer both without Simbrief, so it's full walkthrough of how to do it, and with Simbrief, so full walkthrough again of how to do that. And how to do a gross flight plan check, how to do all the pre-flight stuff, how to start the engines, then your pushback, engine start, and you can see it's very in-depth. Lined up on the runway, takeoff notes, climb notes, and some reminders. So it tells you all the way through what to click, what to press, what to turn, what to check. It doesn't do all of the tests that a real crew would do. It's only the things that you are absolutely required to do to make the airplane operate in a functional manner. Alongside that, there's another document I've written up, which is a quick reference guide for the FMC, the flight management computer. And the reason for doing this is that it has a lot of functionality a lot of people don't know about. So if we go down through here, we'll see all the different autopilot modes are explained with what they do and how they work. How to add new waypoints to the legs page, how to add new custom waypoints to the leg page, so ones that don't exist in the real world, so at a bearing and a distance from another waypoint. How to remove waypoints from the leg page, how to fly direct to, how to calculate an abeam waypoint, how to perform a gross flight plan check, how to draw vectors and range rings on the navigation displays. How to fly at an offset to your planned course. How to fly an intercept course. So yeah, it goes into, there's 19 pages of it. It goes into quite some depth. So let's go back to the airplane then. We'll be following this checklist as we go. Like I said, there's a link to it in the notes of the video. Okay, so I filed a flight plan from Simbrief. We have got Say Intentions running in the background as well. We've got Navigraph running as well. We've got LittleNavMap running as well. So it's an all-up test to see how well it works, really. And we'll see how we get on. So before we get started then, should we have a little look around the airplane? I'll just slow the drone camera down a little bit. And we'll go and have a look. See what they've done. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, the attention to detail in little dark corners of the airplane where no one's going to look. Except we just did look, of course. Are pretty impressive. Okay, so we'll come down towards the engines, have a look at the engine. Let's look around the main gear. Whoa, look up inside the wheel bay. That's crazy, isn't it? They really have gone to town, haven't they? So I know that this, or a variant of this aircraft model, is being used by Boeing for crew training. I don't know if you've been reading the press releases from PMDG about that, but they're working very closely with Boeing, which I'm guessing is why it took so long to get this out of the door, because Boeing obviously approached them with a commercial project to go do that for them. Let's just have a look around the tail. So, got a question in the live stream about the modelling of consumables with the aircraft. The PMDGs have always done that, and I'm not sure it's that easy to turn it all off, so I just tend to leave it on. But yeah, so all of the oil and fluids and stuff you can run out, and I have done. So it's interesting from that regard. I'll show you where that is as well in the aircraft. Also, the whole configuration of the flight deck can be configured. A trick that the PMDGs do, and I wish more developers would do it actually. Within the cockpit of a modern airliner, there's more than one manufacturer of the hardware in the cockpit, and the airlines can, when they have their aircraft constructed, can pick and choose what they're going to have. So, we got the door shut. Well, we're going to fly through it with the drone camera. It's not going to be an obstacle to us. So for example, the mode control panel here. There are a couple of different variants that you find in the Boeings. And there are various other bits like the modules. Because if you look closely, this is all modular in the real aircraft. So there are panels that can be swapped out. So different panels may appear. So different keypads, different switchgear will appear from aircraft to aircraft. And what PMDG have done, when you download their liveries, you're not just downloading the livery, you're downloading the entire configuration of the aeroplane that's accurate to that particular airframe that is depicted. So when you go and look in the cockpit of a given airline, you will see the hardware that real aircraft has. And you can configure that within the aircraft. I'll show you a little bit of it. We're not going to focus too much on it today, but you can see the quality of this now is just ridiculously good. So if we come up near the switchgear, it's very, very impressive. Almost to the point that it may cripple lesser hardware trying to run it, I would imagine. I don't know because I've not tried it. But I've got a 4090 NVIDIA card, and it kind of struggles if you've got a big airport and the aeroplane. But the scenery has always been the culprit for doing that. You can see this version of it also has the head-up display. Again, that's an optional extra that not all 737s have. But this particular variant, the stock PMDG one, does have it. So should we go and have a look at the cabin as well while we're here? So we'll come back in through the door. But yeah, you can see the quality this has all been rendered to is quite ridiculous. You know, down to the stitching on the upholstery. And obviously that gets modified for the airlines as well. Okay. So we're going to press Shift and X to go to the normal pilot view. I'm going to put the Xbox controller to one side now. And we're going to start working through the checklist together. So you have to bear with me. I'm managing several screens at once here to allow this to be possible. So we go straight to pre-flight. So Shift and 6 will take us overhead. And we can put the battery switch to on and cover it. Then we can go down to the flight management computer down here, and we can connect ground power. So to do that, we go to FS Actions and Ground Services and Ground Power Request. And it will take a few seconds, and you may well hear it in the background. So it's saying connecting at the moment. So while we're here, we'll have a very quick look at what I was just talking about. So we've got the ground power on now. We'll just switch over to it first so we don't wear the batteries down. So if I go overhead with Shift and 6 and put the ground power on. We don't need dome lights today, I don't think, so we'll go and align the inertial navigation system while we're up here. This is already on status mode, that's all good. So then back down here, we'll get so far with doing this, so then we can have a bit of a pause. So emergency exit lights are on. We could go and put the heats on, it won't hurt anything, so that's window heats and probe heats. And then we're down to programming the flight management computer again. So Shift and 3 brings us down here. Right, let's go and have a look at this. So if we go to menu, and you've got PMDG setup and FS actions. So in PMDG setup, you can see you've got options for the aircraft, which is the hardware. You've also got the state of the aeroplane. So this is how I've got it covered in a document. This is how you go and set your state to cold and dark, and how you have that as your default startup state. Yeah, you can go in here and you can choose from any of the predefined states, and you can make your own as well. But within aircraft, you can go into all of the optional components of the aircraft. So if you go into equipment, there are 18 pages of it. So the mode control panel type, the Honeywell model or the Collins model. And you can go through this, you know, whether it does double D rates, whether it's got all sorts of options you can do. So I'm not going to go into any great depth, but you can see all the callouts. You can see whether various bits of hardware are installed. It's very cool. Anyway, so that was in the PMDG setup. So we were talking earlier about consumables, so I'm just going to clear out that message. If we go back to the menu page and go to FS Actions, you can set your fuel in here, you can set your payload in here, you can control the doors in here, you can control the pushback. It has its own pushback system if you choose to use it. You've got cabin lights, ground services, so if you go into ground services, that's where we just saw we connected the ground power. You can also have the air conditioning units connected there, and ground maintenance, so you can service the hydraulic fluids, the engine oils, fire bottles, oxygen bottles. You can, you know, look after the brakes, replace the brakes, the tires, all sorts of things you can do. It's very, very cool. Okay, so we're going to get on with doing our route. So I thought we might show the Simbrief integration just because it's nice. So we're going to press Shift and Space to come back. We'll cancel the warning for the moment. And we're going to turn the tablet on. And if we go into the EFB, it's worth having a little look at this to see how this works. So if you are just connecting it to Simbrief for the first time, you'll need to go into the configuration icon, and that's where you put your Simbrief username in. Also, if you've got Navigraph, you can come in here and you can install the nav data. So obviously it will say can't find any nav data if you haven't done it yet, and you click a button to install it. So that's how you pull the Navigraph data into the aeroplane. Once you've got the Simbrief username in, if I do request data from Simbrief now, so just to fill this in, I've already filed the flight plan with Simbrief before I started the live stream. So there's our flight plan to go from Portland down to Sacramento. So if we request the flight from Simbrief, there it goes. So KPDX to KMHR. Okay. We can also go and fetch METAR and lots of other stuff in the tablet. We're not going to touch on that too much, but you get to see the flight plan in here. We can go to a Navigraph view. Oh, it's centered, isn't it? That's why it's locking it. Can we unlock it? Yes, we can. Do we get much more control over zoom? No, we don't. Does it fit? Zoom does zoom to fit. That's quite useful, isn't it? Okay, so what shall we do? Let's go and have a look. we're going to, like I said, we're going to go the Simbrief route, which is a little bit shorter than going the manual route. So we're going to go over to, we've done the tablet, we've gone and fetched the data. So then Shift and 3 will bring us back into the FMC. So we press FMC, we go position initialization, we go next page, we pick up the GPS location from the aeroplane, it puts in the scratch pad, we go back, we drop that into set IRS position. Then we go and find out where we're taking off from, which is going to be KPDX, so Kilo Papa Delta X-ray. Drop that into the reference airport. Then we can go to route, and we can, that's retained in the scratch pad, we can drop that into origin, and then we can put the destination in, which is KMHR. KMHR. So drop that in. And then we can do flight plan request. So that appears if you have the Simbrief integration up and running and you've already pulled the flight plan in the tablet. So then you get the option in here to go and get the Simbrief flight plan. You get a confirmation it's the one you think it is. So we click that, and you can set the payload according to the flight plan. You can set the fuel according to the flight plan. Clear the messages out, and then we can select the route. So it's doing a flight plan request, so we just wait. And I'm just trying to remind myself, I'm reading my own notes here. Press the soft key next to, yeah, so that has worked. So it says route uplink ready. So then we can say load. And it says loading, obviously, and it will say route data uplink when it's done. So then we can say activate and execute. Okay, we can say the runway we're taking off from in here as well. So 28 left and execute. And then we can carry on through the bottom right. So the way the Boeing FMCs tend to work is the bottom right is the next thing to do at any point where, you know, where you're being prompted onto the next page. So performance initialization. What's our cruise altitude today? Let's go and have a look. Where was the Simbrief flight plan? 36,000 feet. So we can put that in as the flight level. So 360 into the scratch pad and copy it across. We can calculate the zero fuel weight automatically. You just press twice. The reserves we'll put in. Now we could do it from this accurately. So if we go view this as a PDF, I always find it easier to find it on here as the PDF. So we want the final reserve number. FinRes is a 1000, so 1. Yeah. And cost index. So on the real thing, it's CI, and it's there. Look, 35. So 35. Execute those changes, and then we can go through the performance calculations. So there's the climb. You can derate the engines, we're not going to, and then we can say takeoff. We're going to go flaps 5, and then you can copy across the V speeds that have been calculated, and you can click on CG and it will calculate the center of gravity for you, and then that gives you your trim number. So 4.69. If I press shift and space, come over here, oops, and have a look here. So that's on about 4 at the moment. We want it to be about 4.69. So we're going to just rotate the trim wheel until this arrow moves to about the right place. So all that means is the aeroplane will be in equilibrium when it reaches the V speed, the rotation speed on the runway. Okay, so we've done the basic route and we've done the performance data. We need to go and do departure and arrival. So we press DEP R, go to DEP, and we'll go and look at our flight plan. So it was in here, wasn't it? So we're going direct. So there's no departure to do other than the runway, and we've already got that. So that's fine. So we can go back to index. What about the arrival? So we're direct in there as well, look. Runway 22 left. Although we will have an approach. So ILS for runway 22, ILS Zulu 22. and it's the camera transition that we want, and execute that. Okay, so then go back out of here. We're going to go to the legs page and look for any discontinuities. We shouldn't have any. No, because it's all direct, it's all fine. Okay, so press legs to go back up to the top if you're ever anywhere else in the list. If you want to do a gross flight plan check, we can then pull this over and go move the navigation display to plan mode instead of map mode. We can change the range on this, so take it out to 40 miles for example. And then you can look at your display here. You can see a center marker. Every time you press step, the center marker will move down and it will show the highlighted line in the middle of the display. So it's a very, very straightforward route. Look, there's a hold at camera and then it jumps in. I'm presuming it's a... let's go back through that again. So yeah, there's no actual mandatory hold, otherwise you'd see hold in here. Okay, so we're going to go back to the legs page and then put this back on map mode, bring the range back down to 10 miles just for takeoff purposes. It's a direct outlook, so it's an immediate left turn after takeoff. Okay, so that's got the routing done, and the performance data, and the departure and arrival, and we've resolved any discontinuities. So we've done the gross flight plan check, and we're on to the mode control panel. So shift and 1 should bring us over here, and we can go and see what we want to do here. So we'll go and preset the speed, even though it'll all be managed. So I say 200 knots. Because we've got a full flight plan programmed in with no discontinuities in it, we can go and put the flight directors on, and we can say lateral. We should be able to say lateral navigation mode. That's interesting. Why is that not working? We'll figure that out in a moment. That is interesting. Okay. And oh, that's interesting. So where that would normally be a control, I can't move the mouse. I'm going to press shift and space. There's a few little bugs in this now and again, you see. So we're going up to 36,000 feet. We'll also go and press comma to set the barometric pressures on the altimeters. Oh, is this not? Oh no, it's already aligned. Otherwise you wouldn't have attitude. I'm just wondering why it won't let us go LNAV straight away. Maybe it doesn't anymore. Oh, VNAV. That's really interesting. So we set this to the runway takeoff direction anyway. So if we go and have a look at the airport we're taking off from, we were taking off 28 left. So if we have a look at 28 left, 283 degrees. Okay, that needs to go up to 36. Although, saying that, I'm not going to do that because we're going to go for clearance in the moment. So we'll bring this back down. We won't be going straight to maximum altitude. Okay. Yeah, that's thrown me slightly as to why it won't let me select LNAV. Anyway, we won't worry too much. So I've calibrated the altimeters. Let's go overhead, and seatbelt signs can go to on, which are here, and the yaw damper can go to on. Cabin pressure we can set to our eventual cruise altitude, which will be 36,000. That will set the environmental control system to look after that for us. We'll go and put the aft fuel pump to on. So the next thing to do will be start the APU. I'm not going to do it just yet because I want to go and get our clearance. So I don't want to go and sit here burning loads of fuel for no reason. So we're going to go to the clearance frequency and ask, where are we again? Portland. Portland clearance for Virtual 073, we're cleared. Oh, we need to get ATIS first, don't we, to get the information.
500 feet. Scattered at 7,000 feet. Solid overcast at 8500
So,
feet.
we go to clearance. We've got information X-ray, yes? Portland clearance, Virtual 073, requesting clearance to Sacramento with information X-ray.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
So they'll give us it back. Obviously we can read it back straight off the screen with say intentions, which is really nice. We don't have to scribble it down.
Virtual 073, clear to Mather. Radar vectors Eugene, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.1 squawk 7344. And your departure runway was changed to 10 right.
Radar vectors to Eugene, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure 118.1, squawk 7344. And departure runway has changed to 10 right. Virtual 073. So let's go and fix that in the FMC.
Virtual 073, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.9er.
So 10 right. So 10 right. Execute. And notice it says takeoff speeds deleted because we changed the runway. So we need to go into init refs and takeoff and redo them. Okay, menu legs, sorry. So we've now got a bit of time until we need to do everything, so let's go and get the transponder done. Is there a view that takes us back? I can never remember. So shift 2, 3, 4.
We cleared to Vancouver, radar vectors direct to VTG.
So we need to go and double check.
We claim and maintain
7344.
20,000. We expect flight level
We'll put this, it's on transponder mode at the moment, which is good. We'll just make sure, yeah, that's good.
124.35, squawk 5222, America 501.
American 501, read back correct.
So while we're doing this, I'm going to put this back onto radio check, so we're not fighting against the radio until we need to go and contact ground. So aft fuel pump 1, we had just done that, hadn't we? So we're going to go back overhead, shift and 6. So our fuel pump is on. We're going to go and start the APU. So hold it down, and you will see the exhaust gas temperature of the APU raise. It will shoot up to about 7, then drop to about 4, and then you'll see the bus transfer light come on to change. So as against the Airbuses, on the Boeings, you change the power over yourself. So you hear a clunk of a relay in the Airbus when it does it. In the Boeings, you do it yourself. So it shoots up to 7 on the exhaust gas temperature, then it will drop down. When it settles, that light will come on, and the center 2 switches are the APU generators. So just waiting for it. As soon as that settles, this light will come on. Famous last words. There we go. So we are now generating electricity on board, so the ground power has been switched off automatically. We can go and put the anti-collision lights on. And have I missed this off the route? No, I haven't. So shift and 3. And we go to the menu page, we go to FS Actions, go to Ground Services, and we release the ground power from the aircraft. And then we remove the chocks as well. So it's disconnecting the ground power. There we go. And then remove the chocks as well. So if we have a look outside at this point, you'll see doing that triggers it to shut the door, and the stairs are pulled away from the aeroplane. So you'll see the truck pull away from us. There it goes. Okay, so having done that, we go overhead and we're going to go and turn all the fuel pumps on. So have we got any? We haven't got a low fuel pressure on the centre tanks, which probably means there's no fuel in them, so there's no point turning the centre pumps on. And we're going to go for pushback. So in order to do that, we need to talk to ground all of a sudden. So we go ground. Portland ground, virtual 073, requesting pushback and engine start. We'll have a look at where we are. So we'll want to go
073, pushback and engine start approved. Tail southeast.
Tail southeast. So we want to go tail to the right because we're going over to runway 10 right. So we're going to be taxiing, I guess, along Bravo. Pushback and engine start approved, tail southeast, virtual 073. So we'll do pushback first. Okay, the simulator's playing games with us. It's not going to come back to the foreground. So let's see what happens. I'm going to press Alt-P. So the truck will come out. You see, there's the parking brake. Now, will it come off on its own? Yeah, you have to hold the toe brakes on then to get it to release. There it goes. And now which way is the simulator going to push us? Is it going to push the tail to the right? Because this is not the built-in pushback. This is just the simulator one. I don't mind this pushing us back in a straight line. That's absolutely fine with me. As long as we get enough room to turn the nose to head that way. There's our runway we'll be taking off from. So we'll press Alt and P again before we go too far. Now, put the parking brake back on. And we're going to go start the engines. So, to start the engines, I'll do this from overhead so you get to see the switch. We need to go and put the APU bleed on. And then I'll do the rest of this from the pilot view. So we can select either the right or the left ignition system. You tend to alternate them just to save wear and tear. We press this to ground and then you'll see the N2 coming up on the right engine. Wait for it to get to 25% and then we will advance the ignition or start lever. 23, 24, 25. As soon as you introduce the fuel, you'll see the fuel flow go up, exhaust gas temperature raises, and the turbofan starts spinning.
Portland ground, low fly 419er, we're ready to taxi, please.
When that has finished, the engine start goes off all on its own, so we can go to engine number 1, and same deal again. N2 is coming up, so that's the axle speed through the gas turbine. When it gets to 25%, we can introduce the fuel, it ignites, and it will accelerate on further. So bring the fuel in, and you'll see fuel flow increase. There it goes. Exhaust gas temperature goes through the roof and the turbofan starts spinning. So you can see where we've been running the APU on the left tank. It's got slightly less fuel than the right tank.
Skywest 3317, taxi to parking.
Skywest 3317.
Okay, so both engines are running.
Bravo 4 Tango Kilo, Skywest 3317.
So next thing to do is go Shift and 6, and we're going to go back to bus transfer over here. Look, And we're going to transfer energy generation now to the gas turbine engines away from the APU, which means the APU is now off bus. Okay, meaning we can now turn off the APU bleed and turn off
runway 3
the
taxi via
APU.
Whiskey Alpha Alpha 5 Kilo Echo, hold short of runway 10 right, then Echo 6 Hotel Kilo 5054.
So hydraulic pumps next, they're over here. So we're going to turn the electric pumps on. We can put the packs on now because the compressed air has done its job for spinning the engines up, so it can be used for the environmental control system to bring the cabin up to pressure. Shift and 4. We've got this on transponder mode already, haven't we? Yes, we have. Okay, flaps for takeoff. We had 5 degrees, so we can't quite see it from here. Let's go and see where this where my controls puts the lever. Okay, I need it there. It's 5 degrees. Should be able to see the flaps moving here. They take a while. So we're going to have a look outside and see it happening.
Alpha 5 Kilo Echo, hold short of runway 10 right, then Echo 6.
You see them animating.
6369er.
Ground, Horizon Air 2248, taxi to the ramp. Horizon Air 2248, taxi to parking via...
Okay, auto brake can go to rejected takeoff. I'm trying to remember where it is. It's already there. That's all good.
Horizon Air 2248.
Oh, we can taxi to the runway. So we go and put the taxi light to on.
Giving way to the GA Premier Hotel Kilo 5054.
And we're going to go and talk to ground.
We'll give way to the GA Golden Eagle.
We're going to 10 right, aren't we? Portland ground, Virtual 073, requesting taxi to runway 10 right. Let's see if he says 10 or 10. I should have said 10.
073, runway 10 right, taxi via Tango Bravo 4 Bravo, hold short of runway 21, then Bravo 2.
Taxi via Tango Bravo 4 Bravo, hold short runway 21, then Bravo 2. Virtual 073. So they want us at Bravo 2. So basically, they want us to cut it along. So Tango, Bravo 4, Bravo, all the way down. Okay, so let's go and release those parking brakes.
Alaska 165, ready to taxi.
Let's turn the head tracking on.
Alaska 165, runway 10 right, taxi via Tango, Bravo 4 Bravo, hold short of runway 21, then Bravo 2.
Runway 10 right, taxi via Tango, Bravo 4 Bravo, hold short of runway 21, then Bravo 2 Alaska 165.
Ground SkyWest 3308, taxi to the gate.
SkyWest 3308, taxi to parking via Bravo 4 Tango Kilo.
Bravo 4 Tango Kilo, SkyWest 3308.
Horizon Air 2248, give way to the SkyWest Embraer 75.
So where that 73 in front of us is, we'll be turning left.
Embraer 75, Horizon Air 2248.
Give way to the Alaska 73, SkyWest 3308.
So we need to set that altitude as well while we're at it. So what did they say? 4,000 feet. Luckily we have some time.
clearance on your right.
Wonder if LNAV will start working once we've got autopilot.
308.
Let's see where we are. I think this next left turn is ours, isn't it? Oh no, we're way.
Skywest
Got to go a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Request push and start clearance.
Same direction he's going. What is a GA play doing at an international airport?
Roger, pushback approved. Skywest 3802.
I guess he only needs a small amount of runway, doesn't he? He's going to sneak out in between the big guys. You'd think the wake turbulence would be a problem for small planes.
Echo ready to taxi.
Centurion 3 Hotel Echo, runway 3 taxi via Alpha 3, Alpha 5, Kilo Echo, hold short of runway 10 right, then Echo 6.
Runway 3 taxi via Alpha 3, Alpha.
Did they ask us to hold short
Kilo
here?
Echo, hold short of
let's have a
runway
quick
10
look.
right, then
Hold
Echo
short, runway
6
21, yeah.
Centurion 3 Hotel Echo.
Skywest 3417, taxi to parking via Bravo 4 Tango Kilo.
Bravo 4 Tango Kilo, Skywest 3417.
Ground, Virtual 073, holding short, runway 21.
Virtual 073, contact tower on 123.775 for departure clearance.
Requesting clearance to cross runway 21, Virtual 073.
Skywest 3802,
You
runway
didn't
10
understand,
left
did it?
taxi via Kilo, Kilo 1, Kilo, Kilo 1.
Runway 10 left taxi via Kilo, Kilo 1, Kilo, Kilo 1, Skywest 3802.
Skywest 3471, give way to the horizon air ahead.
Ground, Virtual 073, requesting permission to cross runway 21. See some nav lights there.
Virtual 073, cross runway T1 approved.
Approved to cross 21, Virtual 073. So, is that a GA plane coming in? It looks mighty small, or it's a little jet maybe. Or maybe it's just the rendering. It's kicking up the water. Why is it not putting water on the ground if the runway's that wet? Yeah, I was going to go and set vertical speed, seeing as we're not allowed to use VNav yet. Whoops. Oh, we need to go over to tower, don't we? Tower, Virtual 073, holding short, runway 10 right behind company traffic.
November 3787, ready to taxi.
Tower, cross runway 10 right.
I think he got that wrong.
Alaska
Oh, they've
165,
disappeared.
holding short 10 right, ready for departure.
Alaska 165, winds 180 at 6, runway 10 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 10 right, Alaska 165.
Caravan 6 Foxtrot Echo, welcome to Portland, contact ground on 121.9er.
Tower Virtual 073 holding short for departure 10 right.
Departure on 118.1, Spirit Wing 620 head. Virtual 073, no delay. CRJ7 on a 9er mile final runway 10 right, wind 360 at 17. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Fly runway heading, clear for takeoff, Virtual 073. We have to get a move on
Portland Tower,
basically.
American 2613, established on the RNAV Yankee runway 10 left.
Rolling takeoff, here we go. Landing lights are on. Ah, can't get the switch. Oh, this is the problem with head tracking. We're going to have to just go for it. I'll sort the lights out when we've gone. This is the major problem with head tracking. Any small click spots, you just can't do.
180 at 6, runway 10 left, cleared to land.
10 left, cleared to land, American 2613. V1.
Right, let's go and sort that light out. Look how small the click spot is on it. There we go. And that shouldn't be on that. That should be on that. I'll turn the head tracking off for the moment. It makes it a lot easier. It's great for taxiing, but for big aeroplanes with tiny click spots all over the place.
Spirit Wing 620, contact departure on 124.35. Departure on 124.35, Spirit Wing 620.
Flaps up. And we're coming up to our initial altitude on the VNAV. So let's go and have a look at the Lex. That's interesting. Tower Virtual 073 now at 4,000 feet.
Virtual 073, climb and maintain 4,000 feet.
Maintaining 4,000 feet, Virtual 073. They obviously have their reasons. We didn't put the, oh yeah, we did. Landing lights are on. Taxi lights can come back off. Let's have a look at it from outside. So there's Portland. Sunshine! Should be a rainbow somewhere. So the gear can go back to the off position if it will let us. Yeah, I'm going to need to go and I'm going to have to ignore that. I think, I'm sorry, I've got hiccups now.
2613 contact ground on 121.9er.
The rain's streaming over the screens. My control binding is forcing that into the up position. I'm going to have to... It's a 3-position gear lever, which doesn't suit the Airbus controller I've got.
Ground, American 2613.
So let's increase the range on the navigation display. We'll also press the center button to have a look at the different modes there. That's really cool, isn't it? And we'll press the TFC to get the traffic to show up.
Cessna 4 Sierra Papa, runway 10 left, arrival confirmed.
Confirm runway 10 left, arrival Cessna 3240 Papa. Cessna 3240 Papa, confirm runway 10 left, arrival.
Portland Tower, virtual 073 at 4,000 feet, requesting higher. Why haven't they handed us off to departures?
Virtual 073, climb and maintain your requested altitude. Say altitude.
Flight level 360, please, virtual 073. He hasn't given us approval yet, has he? Why are they not approving us to climb? Okay, let's be very declarative about it with him. Tower, virtual 073, requesting climb to filed cruise altitude, flight level 360.
Virtual 073, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Climbing flight level 360, virtual 073. Got there in the end, didn't we? Level change, off we go. So until we get through 10,000 feet, we have to stay 250 knots or below. So the engines are winding up. And there's the green banana. Tells us the estimated point at which we'll reach the target altitude. So we're in the US, so transition altitude will be 18,000 feet. Should we go and unbind the gear lever? So I'm just going to pause the sim for a second to do this. Settings, controls. I've already made a profile for this. So what I need to do is go to
Easy
search
3115,
by inputs.
you're leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. Easy 3115. Good day. Thank you.
Delta 2459, welcome to Portland. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Hello, ground on 121.9, Delta 2459.
Delete. Go back. No, I don't want you to do that. I just want to delete it. Oh, settings. Controls. Delete, go back, save, back. So I should find now, yeah, my switch doesn't work anymore, which will mean I can do that. Sorry, that was just nagging at me. So that can go to off as well on the anti-skid. It didn't, I thought it went back on its own. Coming up through 8,000 feet. Yeah, the Airbus, I'm just reading the live stream comments, the Airbus throttle quadrant, it's a very wacky design where it's always on. So it's always trying to say up, and if it isn't, it's down, if that makes sense. It's a rubbish design of switch. So that does mean that if it's up, you can't move it to the middle position. So we've gone through 10,000 feet, landing lights off. I should have put TCAS on as well, shouldn't I? To sorry, ACARS I mean. I should have put ACARS on to record our flight. Oh well, maybe next time. Have we got that shows INOP. Have we got weather radar? We have. Very cool. So let's drop that down to 80 miles. So we can see spits and spots of rain around the place. If we put data on as well, we'll get information on the route. This is a real trip down memory lane for me with the Boeing.
Foxtrot Echo, contact departure.
Contact departure, get on 6.
Yeah, why did I not get sent to departures? That's bizarre.
Roger that, Swift 22. Clear to zero, radar vectors, Yankee Killer Mike.
So
Then asphalt, climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect flight level 330, 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.1. Squawk 6751, runway 10 left for takeoff. Swift 22 heavy.
Let's have a look. So if I go to LittleNavMap and I go to Portland and I go to the comm radio frequencies, departure 118100. Let's try it. Let's just go and appear on departures and see what they say. So we want to go to of course the comm radios are on the pedestal, aren't they, on the here we go, 118. Just double check that. Departure control 118-100. Yep, so we'll switch that to active. Portland departures, virtual 073, departing to your south en route to Sacramento, climbing to flight level 360. We've gone through 18,000 feet, we need to go to standard barometric pressure. Does it do it synchronized? Yes, it does.
Virtual 73, Portland approach, radar contact. Turn left heading 175, vectors to Eugene, then as filed.
175, vectors to Eugene, then as filed, virtual 073. We're already doing that. That's weird, isn't it? Tower didn't hand us off. So I know St. Tensions is under heavy development all the time, so sometimes it gets things a little bit wrong, but it's usually pretty good. So yeah, it's got LNAV on. I know we can use VNAV. We didn't have a standard instrument departure. It was a direct out. So, and I know we could use VNAV. Direct to Eugene, then as filed, virtual 073. Okay, so we're just busy climbing out now. We've gone to standard barometric pressure at 18,000 feet. The speed limit has gone away now, so if we go VNAV now, it should accelerate us out to 300 knots. Yeah, there it goes. Look.
Contact Seattle Center on 121.35.
Contacting Seattle Center, 121.35, virtual 073. Good day. Seattle Center, virtual 073 with you, climbing to flight level 360. Okay, it's all going swimmingly so far. This is what I've probably doomed it by saying that, of course. Does look good, doesn't it? So there we are, look, we're departing Portland and heading off down the coast towards Sacramento. I think I have this configured to have Amanda in the cockpit with me. Let's find out. Hi Amanda, are you there?
Yes, Jonathan, I'm here.
Can you take over radio communications for a while?
I'll take over the radio communications for now.
Very good. So we're climbing to 360 on VNav. We're steering on lateral navigation mode. I can go make a cup of coffee. I'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. I'll leave you in a nice view of the cockpit with all of the whizzy lights and everything. Should we put the progress screen on the other FMC? We have to go in here first, don't we? Progress. There we go. Okay, so we'll let Amanda do the talking for a while while I go make a coffee. So we'll be cruising for a little while. You can see top of cruise as being projected about 40 miles out. Yeah, 45
Seattle
miles.
Center, Alaska 601 is with you. Flight level 390.
See you in a few minutes.
Alaska 601, Seattle Center, good afternoon.
Squawking VFR frequency change approved. We appreciate your help today. For Victor Victor.
Horizon Air 2088, direct Sage in. Cleared for the RNAV Zulu runway 16 right approach, descend and maintain altitude 3900 feet until established. Altimeter 2988.
Descending to 3900, cleared for the RNAV Zulu 16 right approach, Horizon Air 2088.
Horizon Air 2088, contact Malin Suite Tower on 118.9er.
118.9er for Horizon Air 2088.
Seattle Center, Cessna 717 Papa Alpha, holding at Lucy at that moment.
Cessna 7 Papa Alpha, roger. Continue holding as needed.
Shuttle Center, Cessna 717, Papa Alpha, holding at Lucia established. Request for Jimmy Bravo at McMinnville via Solgok.
Okay, so should we have a play with some of the functionality of the FMC while we're flying along, just for a bit of fun. So if we put the waypoints on, and we'll put the, what can we put on that will be useful? Stations, maybe, for the VORs? Oh, it only shows them under a certain range, doesn't it? I forgot that. Yeah. Now we've got everything in the world showing up. So if we bring this back down to 20 miles and put the waypoints on, all I'm looking to do is to illustrate some things we can do. Actually, before we do that, let's zoom back out. So if we go to maximum range on this.
United 1668, direct hair in. Cleared for the ILS runway 10 right approach. Descend and maintain altitude 3100 feet until established.
What we're going to do is go to...
Down to 3100, cleared for the ILS 10 right approach, United 1668.
The legs page. Oh, actually no, we'll do a fix first. That'd be the most fun for people who've not seen this before. So we're heading towards Kilo Mike Hotel Romeo. So we're going to go to fix. We're going to type in Kilo Mike Hotel Romeo, and we're going to base that as our fix. Did I just type Kilo Mike Hotel Romeo? Clear. Oh, what did I type? Some rubbish or other. Kilo Mike Hotel Romeo.
Starship 4 Romeo Sierra.
Okay, so
flight level 120.
We can put, if we just put a number, we'll do a radial. So it'll be a straight line out of there.
Altimeter 2971.
If we put a slash and a number, we'll get a distance or a radius. So slash 100 kilometers, nautical miles. And we've now got a dotted line around the destination, which is a really good reminder to start descending. So you can see top of descent is probably going to be somewhere way further on, but so you can do these, you can draw lines on the graph. So we could put in a radius line. So say we wanted a line to come out of here. So bearing in mind we're heading north, if we wanted a line at say 340 degrees,
direct Holcomb, cleared for the RNAV Zulu runway 16 right approach.
And we put that in as well, and there's a line coming out of that point at 340 degrees. We could do another one at, say, 360 degrees. So if we wanted to funnel for whatever reason, there's our funnel. So you can play games with drawing all over the map. Obviously you can go and delete the... Oh, I thought you could. I was going to talk about beam ones as well, wasn't I? Yeah, I'll save that for a video specifically about them. Beam markers are really clever. So, having drawn all over the map, we can delete that. There we go. And it will get rid of it. And then go back to legs. There's tons more functionality hidden away inside this thing. It's very, very clever.
Proceed direct to Kloss.
Descending to 3000, cleared for the RNAV Zulu 16 right, approach United 1282.
United 1282, contact Mail and Suite Tower on 118.9.
Why are they sending us to Klotz? And where is Klotz?
118.9er here, United 1282.
Look at that crosswind. 118 knots! Oh my word. So I'm just looking for... So let's go and do a search to find out where Klotz is first. Navades. Interesting. So, proceeding direct Klotz, virtual 073. Why have they done that to us then? So what we'll do is go... We can tidy this up afterwards.
Virtual 073, roger, proceeding direct to Klotz.
So, CLOTS. As long as we're at the top of the legs page, what we'll do is tidy it up afterwards. And then we'll bring that back to there. And you'll see this will go crazy because it will make no sense.
United 776, direct Berks.
So the
cleared for the RNAV runway 19er left approach.
Bearing in mind where Klotz is, the next thing to go through would be whatever it's called, Camry. Yeah, so we'll go that on top of there, that there. So we'll pull that back up and execute that. Now we've got two of those, which is a bit dopey. Oh, that was a hold. So we'll get rid of the hold because I don't think they're going to obey that. And then we're going direct Klotz now. Yeah. So the airplane's direct. Going left. It's a bit of a strange route. I wonder if it's doing it maybe to avoid weather. Because there's this whole storm front in front of us. Might be that it's pretty vicious in here, maybe. I don't know. I wonder if they can tell us why. Centre, virtual 073, requesting reason for direct to Klotz.
Virtual 073, direct to Klotz. Shortens your route and is efficient for your flight path to KMHR.
There we go.
United 776,
so they will answer questions.
Tower on 120.5.
Good to know.
120.5 for United 776.
So doing Mach 0.78, which is about average for a 7.3. You can sometimes squeeze it up to Mach 0.82, 0.83. Obviously not with 122 knot wind on the side of your aeroplane now. That's proper windy, isn't it? Let's see how we're doing on Navigraph. So our flight plan has gone out of the window that we were looking at. We're now going to Klotz, which is out here somewhere. Presumably they'll vector us back towards the route we wanted to be going at some point. Where's it near? It's way over here, look.
Seattle Center, Delta 530, with you, flight level 360.
Delta 2530, Seattle Center, roger. Piper 29, Papa contact Seattle Center on 125.8.
I can't even see it on
125.8 for Piper 29, Papa, good night.
Is that around this area somewhere? I'm being blind, I'm afraid. Oh, it's way further away than I thought. So it's just north of Walker Lake. Which this is not going to tell me. It's almost like it doesn't exist on this map. Oh, is it because we're looking at high IFR maybe? That's Walker Lake, and according to this, it's just to the northeast of it. Look, Klotz. It should be right there. Why can't we see it? This is why I don't often like Navigraph very much. It's great for the plates, but the actual navigation not so much. So we know here we're not doing that bit. We're removing that. We're removing that. And we're going Klotz before there. So can we just go in here and go direct Klotz? Oops. Klotz direct camera. Done. And it's appeared out of nowhere. Exactly where we were looking on the map, but now it's appeared. How strange.
Seattle Center, Alaska, 1149, flight level 360.
In reality, we had flown
Alaska,
some
1149,
way towards
radar contact.
LED. We'd got to about there, so what we can do is... Oh, this won't allow me to change it, will it, easily? Oh, it will. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. We're doing... that. So that's a bit more representative of what's going on now. They're still sending us 100 miles out of our way. Let's hope they give us another direct 2 in a few minutes back towards where we're going. But yeah, look at the weather, oh my word.
Virtual 073, contact Seattle Center on 124.85.
Contacting Seattle Center, 12485, virtual 073.
Contacting Seattle Center on 124.85.
Forgot I told Amanda. Hi Amanda, I'll take over radio comms now.
Okay, Jonathan, you've got the radios.
Seattle Center, virtual 073 with you, flight level 360.
Not clear what you said. Say again.
I pressed the wrong button, that's what I did. Seattle Center, Virtual 073 with you, flight level 360, flying direct to Klotz.
Virtual 73, Seattle Center, good afternoon.
Let's see if we can talk them into changing our route. I'm not sure if they will, but we'll have a go. So let's go and put this, let's correct this one as well. Add waypoints. Remove that one. Delete Vortac. Delete Vortac. Add position. So I wonder if they'll let us come straight into Kama. Does it have a name, or could we even talk them into going to a VOR, say the SWR? That would be nice for us, wouldn't it? The Palisades, South Lake Tahoe. Palisades South Lake Tahoe VOR. So Sierra Whiskey Romeo. So who are we talking to again? Seattle Center. Seattle Center, Virtual 073, requesting a diversion to the Sierra Whiskey Romeo, Palisades South Lake Tahoe VOR instead of Klotz.
Virtual 073, divert Squaw Valley, South L Palisades approved. Proceed direct Squaw Valley, South L.
Proceeding Sierra Whiskey Romeo, Virtual 073.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
That's a bit better.
Virtual 073, contact Seattle Center on 127.6.
Contacting Seattle Center, 127.6, Virtual 073, good day. Seattle Center, Virtual 073 with you, flight level 360 en route to the Sierra Whiskey Romeo VOR.
Virtual 73, Seattle Center, good afternoon.
Should we put the TCAS on the other side? I forgot to do it earlier. So just scoot over here. TFC. We could put the planet for him on this side actually, which shows us your profile mode and what's in your corridor basically. Very cool. Look at that weather, oh my word. We have 140 knot wind from the starboard side now. That's craziness. So coming from 270, oh sorry, 253 degrees. Oh my word. I don't think I've ever seen wind that fast in the sim. $140 knots, oh my word. Ah, so in the live stream people are saying that they've got power outages and yeah, there's some serious issues going on.
Good afternoon. FedEx 3685 at flight level 420.
FedEx 3685, Seattle Center, good afternoon.
Someone else up there, look. Look at this flat tops on some of these clouds. Very cool. Okay, so top of descent's coming in about 100 miles time. We need to factor in if the wind is below or is behind us, sorry, in whether we need to descend earlier. We'll see how we get on. I mean, there is a hold option on the way in, so we can always descend in the hold if we absolutely need to. I'd have to reprogram the hold into the flight plan, but that's no biggie. It's fairly straightforward to do. We can look up the details of it actually while we're up here. So it's at Camo, look. So it's on runway direction. That's fine. Is there a diagram of the hold actually? No. Well, that's useful. So 41 degree backtrack, but 221 degrees in. Has it got a max speed on it? So bizarrely not. Unless it's written somewhere else. Usually holds have a max speed printed somewhere near them. But presumably as we're coming into Camo, you're looking for 6,000 feet at Camo. And then step descent on the way in. We'll use VNAV though and see how it handles it. Whoa, I'm always doing that trick. I don't know quite why would they want this to be three-dimensional other than because they can. So Arizona has 98% of the time has wonderful weather, 2% of the time has atrocious weather. So I live in England, so we get 98% of the time the most depressing weather in the known universe. But if anything deviates from the middle of the temperature range or the weather precipitation range, then everything grinds to a halt because we're not prepared for anything. So a tiny bit of snow, everything stops. Tiny bit too much rain, everything stops. Mind you, what we call a tiny bit too much rain for some would be an absolute deluge probably. So I wonder, in terms of a weather map, what does red mean? Don't go there. I wonder, that may have been why they were sending us to Klotz, you know. Because it would have been further away and stayed away from the red areas, but we're above it, so... Well, I presume we are. Just looking out there ahead of us. We'll find out soon enough, won't we? Because we're going to descend into it. Oh, that's going to be nasty. So we may get one of these YouTube specials on landing, you know, where you get the commentator stood on the howling wind at the end of the runway. So we're going straight from there now. We're not going Klotz anymore, we're going to that one. So SWR, so let's go and correct this one. That's what we're doing, more or less, or the airplane's attempting to do it. Let's go and correct this one as well. Oh, we've already corrected this one, so we just need to put the extra point in there where we made the turn. So add waypoint And it's close enough, look. Just to get some idea of where we are and what we're doing. So this is saying top of descent. Do we have any frame of reference of where that is? We'd have to put the airports on, wouldn't we? So KD05 is adjacent to it.
Seattle Central, this is November 850 Hotel Romeo. We are currently approaching Lake GOVOR. And I'm curious, what is my next waypoint should be? We are aiming for Olympia to approach at Seattle Bravo Foxtrot India Airport. Seattle Center, November 850 Hotel Romeo, please say again, waypoint please.
KBM 0, Hotel Romeo, N850, Hotel Romeo, proceed to Powell waypoint next, continuous filed for Olympia and KBFI.
Powell waypoint next, continuous filed for Olympia and KBFI, November 850 Hotel Romeo, thank you.
So 60 miles ahead of us. Okay. I'm just trying to correlate between the two maps. So yeah, the red stuff looks horrendous. Should we bring the range down a bit? That's not a good look, is it? Especially when you've got 138 knots off the back end of the aeroplane. We're about to find out how well the 737 will handle it. I keep getting massive stutters, I'm not sure why, whenever I move the view around. I think it's a Sim Update 4 thing. I know Sim Update 4 was supposed to be all wonderful things to wonderful people. I've had nothing but trouble with it so far, and I'm not sure if it's the Sim Update or the NVIDIA update. It's been really choppy when moving views around. So someone's coming up with some questions for the Unibuild's A330. I haven't flown it for ages. I have got a procedure for it. I'm not sure if that helps you. If you go and look at Ko-fi.com, Ko-fi.com/John Beckett, and you go in the shop and type in A330, you'll find, oh yes, the Unibuild's Airbus A330, there it is. And I've written up the guide of how to operate it, basically. Or how to get it started anyway. Every time I put it in autopilot, it goes into a Dutch roll. Are you, what sort of frame rate have you got? Maybe it's to do with your, are you accelerating time? No aeroplanes in the sim like accelerating time very much.
Virtual 73, Seattle Center, contact Oakland Center on 119.9075.
Contacting Oakland Center, 119.9075, virtual 073, good day. Oakland Center, virtual 073 with you at flight level 360 en route to the Sierra Whiskey Romeo VOR before approach into Sacramento.
Center, good afternoon.
It's funny though, flying the 737 after not having it in 2024 for so long, because I switched to 2024 when it came out. And I've learnt the 737 back in the X-Plane 11 days with the Zebo mode. And then obviously the PMDGs were released for 2020 and flew it there. And now it's available in 2024. So it's like putting on an old suit of clothes that you're really familiar with. I've got more hours in this aeroplane than any other in the sim, I would imagine. Or across the sims, I should say. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't know what's going on with that A330. So there's a comment as well there about Flow Plus. I never had Flow in 2020, I never bothered. I tend to keep the sim fairly thin, or skinny as some people say, so I don't have many add-ons on purpose, and therefore I don't get anywhere near as many issues as lots of others. I work as a software developer, so it's very clear in my mind that the more layers and layers of stuff you put on top of it, the more fragile it all becomes.
Seattle Center on 124.85. Contact Seattle Center on 124.85.
Northwest 585, Heavy Oakland Center, good afternoon.
I mean, saying that, look what I'm running today. We've got the simulator, we've got LittleNavMap, we've got Say Intentions, we've got Navigraph, and we've got OBS obviously recording the screen, and Simbrief running in a browser. Should we go and run, let's bring it to its knees. We'll run Transmitter as well, which is a tiny little program. So disconnect that, we'll put in who we are today. So we are VFA073, oops, VFA. And we're not actually on a multiplayer server, but it doesn't matter. So if you've never seen this before, this is Transmitter. I wrote it. It allows you to, if anyone that's running Transmitter appears on the map, and then you can, it's just a web-based map, and then so if you're flying with your friends, you get to see where each other are. That's the basics of it. So you can see various people around. I'm over here, look. Where I thought I was. Oh, that's my previous report that will disappear in a moment before I change my name. So you can see me moving here across the map. So every 5 seconds it will update. You can move the arrows around and it will remember. So obviously if you zoom out, you can play games with that. You can change the layering of the map, so you can have, say I want satellite mapping, you can have it. What else can we do? I can't remember what you can do in it anymore. We can put a longitude latitude grid on the map. We can put trails on the map like ATC. So when you've got lots of aeroplanes around, it helps you get a sense of which direction they're going. So if we go and find some other people around the world, it'll make a bit more sense probably. Is there a group anywhere? There's a few of them over here, look. Let's go and zoom in on their little group. See what they're up to. Oh, they're on the ground. Oh, he looks like he's just taken off. Or he's just taxied up to the end of that. Yeah, he stopped there. Okay. You can show a list of people that are online using it at the moment. You can go and jump to any of them by flying around the map towards them. You can track somebody, so you can just hit that and it will follow them. It lights them up orange. Oh, there you can see there's several people here flying together, look. So you can see the one we're tracking and the others. So it's quite useful for group flights. It's free. Just go to transmitter.virtualflight.online. Anyway, I'm going to close Transmitter. we're getting close probably to top of descent, if not already through it. I think we've already gone through it. Whoops. So we may have to use that hold after all. How far have we got? 40 miles. Oh, we could do it. So SWR. Who are we talking to? Oakland Center. Oakland Center, Virtual 073, beginning descent for approach into Sacramento. Let's go into the teeth of this red storm then. All those black circles don't look good, do they?
Maintain 4,000.
Descend 4,000, Virtual 073. So what we're going to do is throw the spoilers out. So we're doing a flight level change. Speed brakes are armed. And watch it fall out of the sky. Why has it brought the speed right down to 215 knots? Is that to do with the weather? I guess ground speed limit is 400. Oh, it's because we're doing a level change, of course it is, yeah. So we'll let it go up to 250. It will give it a colossal descent rate to do that. This works out quite well then. We get to about 10,000 feet at Sierra Whiskey Romeo, then we turn and we drop to 4,000 at Camry. Although it says here above 6,000, doesn't it? So we'll pretty much ignore what the controller told us. I'm interested to see what we see
Oakland
in
Center,
front
United
of ourselves.
2262, flight level 290.
We're about to enter
United 2262, radar contact.
some really nasty weather. And these circular bits don't look friendly, because that's probably very high speed air going around in circles. Let's have a look outside. So I guess we get the view ready to see the wings flopping around.
Good afternoon, Oakland Center. How's everything going down there on planet Earth? Absolutely, sir. Could you give me the altimeter settings, please? Starship 514 Romeo Sierra, could I have altimeter?
Starship 514 Romeo Sierra Trinity Center altimeter setting is 30.03.
Okay, so it has projected a descent profile. Obviously we're above it at the moment by a couple of thousand feet, but we're closing in on it. So we need to be above 6,100 feet at Kama, and then we can follow the VNAV route down. That looks horrid, doesn't it? Oh my word. Only in a simulator, hey. Not that you can actually see anything in the aeroplane other than wind whistling by. So let's keep an eye on the attitude indicator as we enter this. And I imagine we're going to get pelted with water any moment. Maybe we need to be mindful of, we're minus 13 outside. Shall we go and put the anti-ice measures on now? I'm trying to remember where they are. The probe heats are on, window heats are on. Hopefully that's going to be enough. Because we are going to enter the teeth of this weather in a few moments. Let's turn the head tracking on.
Freebird 68, you're welcome.
Center Freebird 68, request the Yuba YUBBA transition.
Yeah, we're not going to get down to 6,000 feet anywhere close to when we want to. So we may end up programming that hold in. Should go and put it in just in case. I have to try and remember how to do holds now. I haven't done one for a while. So the fix we want the hold at is at, let's do this from the Navigraph chart, it's easier to see. CAMRR. CAMRR. Hold at camera. (6,100 feet above), inbound course 221. And it's a right turn. No, it's a left turn. So we want 221/left. Execute. So if we go and look in the legs page now, you'll see hold at camera. Good. Because there's no way we're going to be descending in time. With the best will in the world. Here's the rain. So aeroplane's handling it wonderfully. We're down to 60 knots wind, it's not terrible. I have gone and put the
Falcon 9 Romeo Golf contact.
Oh, we're going
on 127.905.
plus 2 degrees, so maybe we don't need the anti-ice measures.
Airbus 3 Alpha Zulu Heavy requesting. Airbus 3 Alpha Zulu Heavy flight number requests are handled by your airline. Please contact them for any changes.
I've never seen that lit up that brightly before. That's funny. So yeah, normally it'd be like 220 knots for a hold, not 250. We'll see what happens. So it will raise the nose to do it, but we need to get to 6,000 feet. So we'll use the hold to do that. We may get down in time, you never know. It's still 30 miles away. I think we're going to do it, you know. So having put the hold in just in case, I think we'll be fine. So let's take this straight back down to...
Virtual 073, contact Oakland approach on 127.905.
Contacting Oakland approach 127.905, virtual 073, good day. Oakland approach, virtual 073 with you descending to 6,000 feet on approach into Sacramento.
Virtual 73, Oakland approach, good afternoon, Truckee altimeter 3003.
Altimeter 3003, virtual 073. So, oh yeah, we're down through the transition altitude, aren't we? So we need to take this out to 3003. 2, 3, there we go, whoops. So then our altitude actually reflects the ground and it's synchronized. You can configure that in the aeroplane, by the way, whether it's synchronized or not. So let's go and configure the runway as well. So, or the ILS I should say. ILS Zulu. 11135, 221 degrees. So, 221 degrees.
Car November Alpha 6743 requesting change to
we'll do both sides.
Plan and change destination airport to LAX.
And 11135.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
That's the VHF. What am I doing?
Piper Sierra Alpha radar contact.
Double check that. 11135, 221 degrees. We're all set. So we're looking for 6,100 feet. And I've set this, let's go for 6,500, shall we? For our target, which you can see is there. And we are descending, we can do this easily. We do need to decelerate, so we can remove the hold. So we're going to put L-door over the top, execute. So we'll fly straight through now. Still can't see a blind thing out there, and we're down below 10,000 feet now, so the landing light should be on. Not that anybody can see us beyond about 200 yards away. So we've got 24 knots on the nose. We can get rid of the spoilers. Look at it accelerating where we dropped the spoilers quickly and the throttles couldn't react quickly enough. So it's going to raise the nose to fix that, I would imagine. It's wavering around a bit, isn't it? It's getting quite turbulent out there. Engines are looking fine. So we're coming in towards the feathers. So at Kama 6,100 feet. By the time we get to Gadby, we need to be at 1,800 feet. Have we got Gadby? Yes, we have. And it's all programmed in. So we could even go VNav, and it will take over, and it's actually going to climb into the profile.
Oakland Centre, this is Sovereign.
Or is this, I think it's just going to hold, because we've told it to target here, look. So I'll just change the target when we get a little bit closer. You'll see that profile come down towards us in a moment. It's 3,700 feet above us at the moment, look, and dropping. So what we could do is set this down to airfield elevation. So what is the airfield elevation? Oh, I'm always doing that. Overview. Put it back over there. Elevation 84 feet. So what we'll do is set this to 100 feet. And it should follow the VNAV constraints on the way in. Famous last word. So it's holding 6,500 until this crosses through, and then it will start following it. So there's the airfield. So let's drop this range again. I'm getting the most wonderful pictures on here. It's a shame we can't see anything. But this is why. Just out of interest, does the radar say we're going to break out of it? Just in time look for the airfield. So we're going to come out of it with like a mile to run.
Virtual 073, contact NorCal approach on 127.4.
Contacting NorCal approach 127.4, virtual 073, good day. NorCal approach, virtual 73 with you, descending on the approach into Sacramento for runway 22 left.
Virtual 73, NorCal approach, good afternoon, Georgetown, altimeter 3009er.
Altimeter 3009er, virtual 073. So let's see what this is going to do with the speed, because it should be starting to manage it down to sort of... Have we got some max speeds on the constraints? Not yet. Oh yeah, yes we have, sorry, yeah. 193, 155.
4,000 feet.
Descend 4,000, virtual 073. Okay, so we're moving away from LNAV. So they want us at 4,000.
Virtual 073, roger, maintain 4,000 feet.
So we'll go level change. That will give us back speed here. We're going to drop the speed immediately then to 220 as well. So we're heading down, because we've been told to go to 4,000 basically. We'll shut through the spoilers out, which will get rid of the speed, and then we can start descending, because they wanted us to expedite. We haven't picked up the glide slope yet. We're still 20 odd miles out, I think. Just a bit too far out to see it. Oh, here comes the thunder and lightning. So, flaps to first stage. So you can see the flaps are extending. So flap transit light is on. We're going to put the max brakes switch on to max. I never told the passengers they could stand up, did I? So the seatbelt sign's on auto. Let's put it on, shall we? Can't see anything at the moment, but it should suddenly appear right in front of us.
Approach Aerostar 814 Lima,
acquisition.
IFR to Half Moon Bay.
There it comes.
While I grab the paperwork.
Approach mode on.
Roger, cleared via vectors.
We have
moved,
localizer, we
then
have
as
glide
filed,
slope.
Climb, maintain 8,000. Departure 127.4, squawking 1542, Aerostar 84 Tango Lima.
NorCal approach, virtual 073, locked on a localizer and glide slope for Sacramento. Hopefully they'll send us straight to tower.
Virtual 073, Roger. Continue inbound on the localizer and glide slope for runway 22 left at Mather.
So flaps down, throwing the spoilers out to help get the speed off. Got 10 miles to run, we want to get this stabilised. Bring the range down again. And I'm sure you probably want to see the first sight of the runway as we come out of the cloud, about 4 miles out. 3 miles out maybe, we'll get visibility or visual of the runway. We're absolutely bang on the glide slope and the localizer. With approach mode, or we did have approach mode engaged. Is that not working? Does it not stay lit up? So it's the mode here is correct. That's interesting. Maybe that doesn't do that. Or maybe it's a bug, I'm not sure. You'd have to ask a real 737 pilot. I thought they remained illuminated. But the mode you're operating in is up here. So we can go dual channel. So you'll see that reflect up here. Unless it's only a single channel system. Okay, let's bring the flaps further in. And then gear down. And full flaps. Coming down to 2,100 feet. The profile's dead on. We haven't got dual channel, so I don't know if this is going to... We've only got a 10 knot crosswind. I may go manual for the final approach if we get visuals. I don't fancy doing it without visuals. So let's bring this right down to 5 miles range. Any moment. There we go. And right in front of us, as the murk clears, we should see the runway. And there it is. So we've got a crosswind from the left, which is why we're aiming slightly to the left. We're crabbing.
1,000.
Just checking some of the switches. It's got flare mode. It's going to work. Yep. So the 2 autopilots are going to kick in. I'm going to let it do it. I don't usually let it do it. I usually take over myself, but I'm going to let it do it on this occasion just to see if it works. Because again, we're testing the aeroplane, aren't we? So I've taken my hands away from the throttles and the stick while I'm resting them on them, ready to grab them.
500.
Should we have a look from outside? So how good of a approach is it going to do?
Piper 7, contact NorCal approach on 125.25.
NorCal approach on 125.25, Piper 7.
Southwest 5702, contact Oakland Center on 127.905.
Okay, so reversers do work. It was just a bit glitchy. That's a control configuration issue though. Tower Virtual 073, clear of active.
Virtual 073, can you repeat that?
Virtual 073, clear of active runway. Tarovich, it didn't quite understand me, did it? Misheard. We're going to go to ground anyway. They should hand us off, but not necessarily. Ground Virtual 073 requesting taxi to gates, please.
Virtual 073, taxi to Park Stand 12 via Foxtrot Alpha.
Taxi Park Stand 12 via Foxtrot Alpha, Virtual 073.
Citation 461, runway 22 right, taxi via Alpha Bravo.
Runway 22 right, taxi via Alpha Bravo, citation
Foxtrot
461.
Alpha. It's going to be up here somewhere, isn't it? So, next right.
Sacramento, this is Airbus. Charlie Golf Tango requesting IFR clearance to Salt Lake City.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
It's interesting. I very, very rarely use
Tango,
autopilot for landing, so almost certainly that's the only time you'll ever see me let the airplane land itself is this time.
On request, you're number 1.
Just to see if it can do it. From now on, whenever you see me flying the 7.3, I'll be landing it myself, probably. Because otherwise you don't learn how. You don't get the feel for it, you don't get the muscle memory of how the airplane's going to behave. This was the cargo area, wasn't it? Yeah, cargo terminal. So we carry on. Lovely weather. So we should have turned the weather radar off, by the way. And TCAS can go to... We never turned TCAS on, did we? We should have had it on TARA all the way. Yeah, TCAS is off, look. So that's my fault for not following my own checklist. The common mistake I make very, very commonly is I start talking about stuff while I'm on a live stream and I forget half the things on the checklist because there's other shiny things to look at.
Ready to taxi.
November 42078, runway 22 right, taxi via Alpha Bravo.
Okay, maybe there isn't a gate here, or this is
runway
a very,
22
very...
right, taxi via Alpha Bravo, November
It's a very vanilla
42078,
version of the airport,
AT.
isn't it? So we'll go in through the middle of all the GA planes, just for today, and go and park up at the buildings. What has happened to that building? Has there been some sort of natural disaster here? That's Oh, I've got to go and have a look now. Yeah, it's a rendering issue, isn't it?
Sacramento clearance, Cessna 3465 Tango with Golf, wanting to pick up my IFR clearance to Kilo Mike Echo Romeo.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Cleared to Castle.
There's a bit of a scenery issue going on over there, isn't there?
To Modesto, then
It's been some sort of natural disaster.
Climb and
right, let's just park up.
Departure on 127.4, squawk 3356, and expect runway 22 left for departure 65 Tango.
Okay, parking brake on. So, to stop the aeroplane in a safe manner, I wonder if they'll let us. We're not at a gate, obviously, so let's see what this will let us get away with. If we go to FS Actions, Ground Maintenance, sorry, not Ground Maintenance, menu, FS Actions, Ground Services, Request Jocks, and request ground power. Will they give it us out here? You'd think there might be some logic, but I guess the airplane doesn't know where the gates are, so it won't. It will just let us do it. So once we have ground power, we can go overhead, switch over to the ground power instead of the airplane. We'll get a warning, and then we can shut the engines down because we're not using the engines for power generation anymore. So shift and 6 takes us overhead, and we're going to go and revert everything we did. So yaw dampers off, window heats off, probe heats off, INS system off, the electric hydraulic pumps
Zulu
off,
Golf Zulu ready to taxi.
fuel pumps off,
9 Victor Zulu Golf Zulu, runway 22 right, taxi via Echo 1 Alpha Bravo.
packs
Runway 22 right, taxi via
off.
Echo 1 Alpha Bravo 9 Victor Zulu Golf Zulu.
Seatbelt signs can go off. It would be great when they do that if you suddenly heard bedlam behind you as everybody jumps out of their seats to get in the queue to get out of the door.
Stand by.
Don't know why they do it, but they always do.
Repeat that one more
Taxi
time
off.
for November 2160 Victor.
Ready to copy IFR clearance to San Francisco, Vision Jet 121.
We're almost there.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
So, all we have left to do is turn the ground power off. And then turn the master, that's back to off. And yeah, the batteries go to off for McColden Duck. And yes, huge stutter from the aeroplane again. There's something weird going on there. Anyway, there we go. We survived. Back in time for tea and medals. That's the PMDG 737-800, running it in Flight Simulator 2024. That went really well. Quite chuffed with that. And we went through some horrific... Oh, maybe the weather we're seeing is what put paint to that building. It does look a bit second-hand, doesn't it? That one looks like it's been absolutely wrecked. So yeah, maybe it was this weather. Look, that building's been ripped off at the foundations. That one's been caved in. It's lost its roof. Maybe we were lucky to get in when we did. Anyway, there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks ever so much for watching if you've been tagging along. And remember, look in the notes of the video. If you're looking for a functional checklist of everything you need to do in the aeroplane, then there's a link to the one I've written up. It runs to about 16 pages. And there's another guide to all the different things you can do in the flight management computer as well. See you soon. Take care.